The day started like any other for a man who had seen more than his fair share of battles. But what happened at that small diner, a simple, everyday moment, was about to alter the course of his life forever. As the veteran sat down to enjoy a meal, he had no idea that a single sentence from a waitress, so casual yet so profound, would stir something deep within him, something he'd buried for years. What was it about those words that shook him to his core? And why did they resonate so deeply with a man who had fought in wars but never faced anything like this? This is the story of a veteran's life-changing moment, and it all started with one innocent conversation. He walked into the diner, the bell above the door jingling as it always did, announcing his arrival. He was just another customer in the midst of a busy morning rush. The kind of guy who'd sit at the counter, maybe nod to the cook, and order the same thing every time, scrambled eggs and toast with coffee. He had been coming here for years. The waitress, a young woman in her mid-20s, smiled at him as she did everyone else. She had seen him countless times, and they had exchanged pleasantries over the months, nothing too deep, just a polite recognition of routine. But today was different. Today, there was something about the way she said it, something in her tone, in the way she lingered for just a moment longer than usual. "Anything special today?" she asked, the words seeming so ordinary, but for the veteran, they cut through the air with an intensity he wasn't expecting. It was as if her question reached into his soul, stirring up memories he had long since tried to forget. For a split second, the noise of the diner seemed to fade into the background. The clattering dishes, the murmur of other conversations, it all vanished. He looked at her, his eyes betraying a weight that wasn't just from age or fatigue. There was something in those eyes, a depth that spoke of scars that no one could see. The waitress didn't know it, but this simple question had unlocked something in him, something he'd kept buried for years. Without even realizing it, the words escaped his mouth, words that had been tucked away for so long. "Some days I wish I could just forget everything." The waitress, surprised by the depth of his response, paused. It was a moment of vulnerability that caught her off guard, but she didn't turn away. Instead, she met his gaze, her voice softer now, more genuine than before. "You don't have to forget," she said. "You just need to let it go." And just like that, in a single sentence, she had offered him a piece of wisdom, something that, in all his years of service, in all the battles he had fought, had never occurred to him. You don't have to forget the past, but you can stop letting it control you. You can choose to move forward. The veteran felt something shift inside him, a release almost. He had never considered that he could find peace without erasing the painful memories that haunted him. She didn't know it, but those words had the power to heal. In a way, they were the very thing he needed to hear. The weight he had carried for so long began to lift, not because the past was gone, but because he understood, for the first time, that he could choose how much of it he allowed to define him. As the waitress walked away to deliver other orders, he sat there in silence, staring into his cup of coffee. The steam rising from it seemed to mirror the fog that had cleared from his mind. He wasn't sure if the woman had any idea of the impact she had made, but in that moment, she had changed him. He wasn't going to forget what happened in those years of war, but he could choose to stop letting it hold him back. The rest of the morning passed in a blur. The clinking of dishes, the soft murmur of conversation, the hum of the diner, it all felt like background noise now. But in the veteran's mind, there was a stillness, a calmness that hadn't been there before. He had been given a chance, not just to live, but to truly move forward. And it was all thanks to a simple, unremarkable sentence from a stranger. A waitress who unknowingly gave him a gift that he could never repay.